So what is the judge looking for in these steers? This is Leda. She used to be one of my sponsorees from the last year.
Yes.
Uh, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with FFA?
I've been doing FFA for 3 years. All of my 3 years, I raised swines. Um, my last year, I made it to sales. I placed fifth place overall, but second in my class. And yeah, it was a good experience. I love showing swines. I think it's my favorite part of the whole program. But yeah,
And what made you come back?
I wanted to see the students like how do I explain this? Um, I just miss it. It's like the best feeling. I don't know. I love FFA and I love the culture. Like I love everything about it. So I wanted to come see the new students show for this year.
You said you were in college right now. What's your goal? How did this affect your goals for the future?
So I'm actually going to college for animal science. Right now, I'm in Lone Star for my associates. I plan to transfer to Texas A&M, but I think it would affect me in a good way because I have experience with animals, and I've been in the industry for 3 years already. So it's been part of like I was also raised with animals too, so it's been throughout my whole life.
And why didn't you do a steer when you were in high school?
Oh, I'm too scared of big animals. I'm too scared. It's because like the experience that I would see at my barn, like from the kids at my barn, like they were just too rough. Like I didn't want, I didn't want a steer to come running after me, chasing me, doing anything because I was gonna be too scared.
It takes discipline. It's a
Yes.
lot of hard work. Like you said, you raise pigs, which is also a lot of hard work,
Hmm.
and you can tell firsthand that it's not something that's easy to do.
Yes. Yeah, steer's too much for me. What do they look for in steers?
Really, with the steers like this, they really look for how it's developed muscle wise.
Hmm.
Uh, some people think that steers and cows are usually just mostly fat,
Hmm.
which they are to an extent, but they're also a lot of muscle.
Hmm.
And what he's looking for is to make sure that flank is just dropped nice, the stance on that steer, uh,
Hmm.
making sure it's not too close together on his back stands.
Yeah. So, based off, in the beginning when they came in, you know how he was touching their tails and stuff. What is that for? Or is it
That's
just?
just for him to get a better look.
Mm, I see.
You can see right there he's getting the line up straight. And that goes back into their showmanship too,
Mm.
which I know you have a lot of experience with showmanship and swine.
Yes.
And it just plays
Yes.
into the same here.
Mm, I see.
So like I said, right now it's not. Right now it's not mostly about. It's not just about the steer. It's
Just
also
the.
about how they're moving them around.
Mm,
You gotta be able to move him around so you can see how he's built,
mm.
how he's structured, and all the balance that they have.
Oh, okay. Okay. Did you raise a steer when
I didn't. I got into FFA way too late.
you were?
We got a really nice class to start off here, and I think a very easy, logical start in place here with the young lady with the white steer. I think as you get out here and analyze that one, that guy puts together all the pieces and parts that you need to have in one. He's fat, he's market ready, he's got the look, he's got the eye appeal, skin condition, everything. Very good job of taking care of and feeding this animal. Young lady's done a great job of that. and I think that's an awful nice, really good calf to start with. Then we get into some variation. We got a really long-sided steer. I really like that about him. He gets a little easier in his top, doesn't quite hold it up as good, maybe not quite as market ready and as fat as the steer that beats him in class, but that thing's got a lot of shape and dimension and muscle, and I really like and appreciate that about him. Just like to see a little bit more overall finish to him today to get him more to that market ready point, but that one's still going to have a high cutability and going to be a really nice steer to put on the rail. Young lady's calf that comes next has just got a little bit more cover, a little bit more finish to him when we get him out here. He's got a little bit more shape and dimension in that top and out through that loin, a little more roundness and plumpness when you get back behind him. He's a little bigger boned, a little more substance there, and that's where he gets into that third place. Young lady steer that winds up the class really has a very good look. Love the way that one looks from the side, like the length and the size that he has and the scale that he has. He's not quite as fat as I'd like to see him for this stage of the game. We need to deepen him up and get him some more body and some volume to him. He's a little taller and a little bit framier than what would be ideal. Maybe we could score him down a little bit, get him a little fatter, and we can move him up in the line quite a bit. Just need to stouten him up and get a little more finish. Really good set from top to bottom. Let's give them all a big round of applause.
Our results for our Class 1 lightweight steer show is first place, Alyssa Martinez. Second place, Ashelon Jones. Third place, Keisha Garcia. And fourth place, Ziana Toscana. First call for Class 2 market steers. Class 2, please make your way to the show arena. That's Melina Palmer from Aldine FFA, Ethan Harris from Eisenhower FFA, Siri Hernandez from Aldine FFA, and Anaya McDowell from Eisenhower FFA.
Okay, you said you didn't do a steer, right?
No,
If you were to do a steer, would you do it?
no,
Why not?
I didn't. My schedule didn't allow it. Raising a steer, you need a lot of time, and a lot of people don't say it, but you need money for it too. I don't know how much steers eat a day, but I do know it's a lot more than a pig does.
That's true.
And whenever I was raising my pig, it was to the point where I either had to choose between some school activities or FFA, and I chose FFA.
Oh, okay.
But I was at the time I was also working, almost 20 hours a week after school. So would I have done a steer? Yes, if time allowed, but that's one of the regrets I have. That's
Yeah.
which hopefully later on I get to help somebody else do.
That's true. Are you sponsoring any of the steers right now?
I am. I'm sponsoring one of the class 3 weights.
Oh wow. And how do you like sponsoring? Like, what makes you want to sponsor these kids?
It's fun, mostly because it was something. Whoa, dude. Mine's on. Is yours on?
Okay. Okay. Go.
I thought you turned it on.
It is on.
So anyway, she was asking me questions about what race is steering. You heard the answers.
That was a sponsor part.
But anyways, sponsorships, we love doing it because, like I said, we're an Ace Hardware store. We're based in the community, and we honestly just want to help back to what the students come in for every day.
That's good. When you said you were raising pigs, right?
I was, yeah.
Did you have a sponsor?
I didn't, and that was actually the first ever sponsor that Ace Hardware had done. They used to do it back in the day, way back in the 1950s, when the store first opened. But they kind of backed off away from it, mostly because they didn't even know they still did it anymore in this
Yeah.
area.
Oh, so you brought it back into them.
I was their first sponsoree in a long time.
How did that make you feel?
It made me feel good that somebody had my back on my project. It didn't make me feel like I was doing it for nothing.
Yeah. And did you place on your pig? Did you make it to sell? Or?
I did. I was 6th overall, first in my class. First
really
place
good.
showmanship too.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Yeah, you could tell I got them showmanship skills.
Yes. That's really good.
Yeah, but like I said, we like sponsoring just because it's a good feeling to have something to fall back on.
Yeah. One of the judges, his kids are in FFA at a really young age. Would you put your kids in FFA too at a young age?
I'm trying to. My son's still a little young for it to start the age for, but the 4-H. But I don't know. It's an experience I wish I had when I was a kid. So bringing them here to introduce them to it, yeah.
That is good too.
I mean, it's good for them to watch these shows too, because you can see the work these students put into their animals.
Yes.
And it's something I want them to pick up quick.
Yeah. Yeah, because one of the judges says that they picked up really quick, right, when he was teaching his daughters and his granddaughters.
Yeah, and it's just growing up around an area like this where you barely even see this, especially here in Houston. You don't see much of this anymore.
Yes, that's true.
And the fact that Aldine still does it in the middle of the town, it's awesome.
No, for real, yeah. You think this is like a project that takes up like the whole day or like?
Raising livestock, I would say it takes up most of your day. It's something you have to think about a lot. Where you're going to get the feed, how you're going to feed it, what you need to change, where you need to work.
True.
And I mean, and the school helps a lot.
Yeah.
They help a lot. They give you some time to actually work with your project. They give you time to actually go and visit your animal.
Another really competitive class. Two really nice steers here on the top end. We're going to start with the young lady with the red steer here in front of me. One that you really have to appreciate the way this one's put together from the ground up. He's big-footed, he's big-boned, he's got lots of volume, really balances up great from flank to flank. I love that about him. But the biggest part about him is he is a tugboat through the center portion of his body. He's got more volume and dimension. When you get up over his top, he's got thickness. He's stout all the way through from his rib all the way back to his loin, and then still maintains that into a real good rump structure and the amount of muscle that he carries. If I'm going to change him any at all, I'd like to see him longer necked and a little bit cleaner through that neck, but that's about it. From the shoulder back, he's about made as good as you'd want one. Maybe just a tick fatter than ideal, but that's what makes the market readiness and everything. So we're gonna say that he's right there, close enough to where he needs to be. We could firm him up just a tick, but that's an awful nice calf to start with. Young lady's calf here in second. Most likely follows him in type and kind, not quite as neat and clean up through his front end, doesn't have the expressiveness and muscle as the calf that stands in front of him in class, but really big bodied, really big volume through the center portion of his rib. Appreciate that about him. He gets a little bit easier in his top line, doesn't quite hold it up as good as I'd like to see it. He's not quite as stout as the calf that beats him in class, but those two are awful comparable back and forth in the way that they're made, their balance and their eye appeal, and the amount of finish that they carry, and that gets them to the top of the class. Young man's calf here, the black steer, is going to be third today. Really appreciate this one from the standpoint of looking at him from the side profile. That thing's made as good looking as you'd want one. That's the show steer of the group. He's long, pretty necked. He's really clean and neat in his chest floor. He's really good in his volume. He gets a little flatter sided to me. He doesn't quite have as much cover and finish as I'd like to see him at this stage of the game, but he has enough muscle and dimension of muscle to fit with his frame and everything to go along with it. Love his foot and bone work and the freeness and easiness of movement that he has to me today. Just like to see him a little bit fatter, maybe a little bit more expressive to compete with the two that beat him in class today. Young lady steer that winds up the class, not to take anything away from this calf. He's got some shape and dimension. He's got some muscle. When we get out here and we analyze this guy, he's a little bigger ribbed, and it makes it a little bit harder to get those as fat as we need them at this stage of the game. I'd like to see him fatter. He doesn't quite have the finish over his rib that we need to get him to that marketability that we need. He gets in a little rolls out of his hip when you set him in motion. I'd like to deepen him up in his flank, but that's an awful nice calf as well. 4 really good quality steers. Let's give them all a big round of applause.
Our results for our Class 2 steer class is first place, Anaya McDowell from Eisenhower FFA. Second place, Melina Palmer from Aldine FFA. Third place, Ethan Harris from Eisenhower FFA. And fourth place, Siri Hernandez from Aldine FFA. First call for Class 3 market steers. Denise Balderas from Davis FFA, Jamari Hackett from Davis FFA, Carmela Espinoza from MacArthur FFA, and Nathan White from Eisenhower FFA. Please make your way to the arena at this time.
So like you asked earlier, I did sponsor one of the steers from this class.
What steer did you sponsor?
I sponsored Denise's.
Denise's.
And I've watched it grow. It has grown really nice. We had some speed bumps because he was a little more hard-headed than most steers, but towards the end, he finally started calming down a bit and let us walk him a lot easier.
How do you do with hard-headed steers?
You gotta break their necks. and it's not literal. I mean, whenever a steer starts acting up, you really just have to put your foot down. These animals started off weighing probably close to 600 pounds whenever you first get them. I don't know the exact weight, but they're already heavier than you to start off with.
No, yeah, that's true.
Most of these kids are on the smaller side too, so these animals are more than double, triple their size.
So whenever you elect a steer, what do you look into a steer when you're electing it?
It depends. It varies from student to student. Some people just go based off what their color is, how they're built as they're young, when they're young,
Mm-hmm.
or some of them just get chosen. I don't know. Like I said, I really wish I had that experience, but
Yeah, that's true.
yeah. But, and that's where it goes into breaking his neck.
Oh,
Well,
that's the steer you sponsor.
yes. Like you see, he is a little on the hard-headed side, but
Do most steers become like stubborn or
so from what I've seen in my days, it could go either way whenever you get them. I've seen steers that are really docile straight out the door, and then I've seen some that are really aggressive. But it just goes back into that training throughout the year. You get these animals back. I want to say before the summer, and they're routine animals. You need to get them into a schedule and repeat that schedule, because even if something changes just a little bit, they can mess it up for them completely.
That's true. So steers are the most longest projects, right?
They are,
Okay.
and that just plays that plays in because of their size.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's the reason why they're the most longest projects.
Pretty much, they grow a little slower than most animals, but they also grow fast compared to others. So.
No, yeah, that's true.
When you look into it, pigs are easier when it comes to feeds and certain supplements. There's a lot more variety for them. Steers are a lot more picky.
Yeah. Oh, they are. So if they don't like it, they won't eat it.
They'll eat it, but it'll mess them up. Sometimes it'll give them either the runs, or they won't or like you said, they won't eat it sometimes.
That's true. What is that little like scraping thing at the bottom? Like, what does that do?
It's just a way to calm them down.
Oh, okay, okay.
Sometimes they can use it to fix their posture a little bit. Other times they use it just to calm them down, scratching the places you can't reach. Because steers are big. Most of these students can't reach all the way to the back, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's give these exhibitors a big round of applause. As we get out here, I'm going to describe the cattle to you and tell you kind of some things about them, and then I'll kind of disclose to you basically how I'm going to place them in the class. But as we get out here, the black brockle-faced steer up here in the front right now, that calf has got a lot of good qualities to him. He's got that neck. He's got that upheadedness. He's got that look out through that front end. He's really good balance when you get out and look at him from the profile. He's probably the most correctly finished calf in the class. He's got enough body to him. He bounces up nice enough from flank to flank. He's the thickest ended steer when you get back behind him and up over his top line. That's an awful attractive individual there that you really have to appreciate from that standpoint. The red steer that comes in next or stands right behind him is a calf that you love the volume and the mass and the center portion of body that this calf brings to you. That calf bounces up from flank to flank as good as any out here. He's square and level in his lines. When we get up over his top, he maybe doesn't have quite as much expression as maybe the black brockle face in front of him, up over from his rib all the way back into his loin, the fullness and the plumpness that steer has. But he's really good through his hip, really level, really square, got lots of length there, really appreciate the amount of muscle that he carries. He's really free and easy on the move, just a very complete steer from that standpoint. The black steer that stands right behind that red steer, this calf here, if we could change a few things about him, we can really get pretty excited about this one because this one's easily the thickest muscled, most expressively made steer in the class. He's got a few problems that we'll kind of point out. He wants to drop his hip just a little bit, especially when he gets out on the move. He wants to get up underneath himself a little bit, but that one's body style and everything and the amount of muscle that he carries, you really have to appreciate that for a great deal from that standpoint. He's got a nice, good finish to him. He's firm to the touch, but yet he's got that fat covering that he needs. We just need to free him up in his all mobility and maybe redesign that hip structure to make him get out and move freer and easier. Young ladies, black steer that's down here on this end, a calf that you really have to appreciate the look and the eye appeal that he has. He bounces up nicely for me. He's got some rib and some volume to him. Surprisingly, he's a little bit better finished than I thought he was once I got my hands on him. He is carrying a little bit of finish to him. Maybe not quite as much as some of the other calves that we have in the class, but I think as you analyze that calf, I think for where he's at and probably what his weight is, he probably matches in there pretty close. Not quite as much dimension, the muscle up over his top and that back through his loin and down into that lower quarter. But as we analyze that calf, he's free and easy on the move. He's good bone and good footed, a really nice calf as well. As we get him out here in the lineup, he probably gives up more to weight and size to the other three calves that we have in the class. Therefore, he's going to be fourth. Young man, your calf's going to be third. We'd like to free him up and just fix him and design him better through that hip structure. But I think that's an awful nice calf that's really going to cut a good carcass. Young man, you're going to be second. Young lady, you'll be first. Really good set of cattle. Let's give them a round of applause.
Our results for Class 3 steer class: in first place, Nathan White from Eisenhower FFA. Second place, Carmela Espinoza from MacArthur FFA. Third place, Jamari Hackett from Davis FFA. And fourth place, Denise Balderas from Davis FFA. We need our first place steers from Class 1 and Class 2, Alyssa Martinez and Anaya McDowell. Please make your way to the show arena now. Again, our class sponsor for today's Market Steer Show is Mario Martinez. Let's give her a round of applause.
Okay, so right now they're going for the grand champion steer, right?
Yes.
Okay, since they all became first place, since they all were first place, what is he looking for now?
Really, right now, it's going to go back into what he was talking about earlier, that build. Really, he's looking for that definition in the muscle. Like I said, he doesn't want them too chunky in one spot or too lean on the other, so he's looking for that build, the way they move around. He mentioned a couple that some of them were bouncing a little bit better than the others.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's what he really liked about this first class that he's judging.
Let's see. So he's just gonna pick one of them that has everything that he likes.
Pretty much.
Okay.
And you can see some of these steers get a little hard-headed every now and then, but that goes back into what I was telling you about showmanship. You need to train these animals every day, get them on a schedule.
Yeah.
Because the second they find out that they're bigger than you and they can actually push you around, that's whenever everything goes loose.
So what breed of steer is that one right there? That one.
I don't remember my steer breeds as much as I should. It's a white one.
Let's give these exhibitors a big round of applause. Really nice set of cattle all throughout the day. 3 very well represented steers out here in our drive. I think as we get out here and analyze them, we talked about the white steer up here in the front, a really attractive one that's really balanced very well for me. Love the way that one puts all the pieces and parts together. He's a little bit smaller. He weighs about 1150-ish, somewhere in there. But that one's put together about as good as you can make one. Every little bit and piece that you put together in that animal all matches all the way back. And that's the high quality show steer. That's the kind of thing that I look for in an animal. We get up over his top. He's got big old expressive muscle. You can see that muscle jumping out at his rib all the way back through his loin. He stays full and plump all the way through. And then when you get back behind him, he's still carrying that amount of muscle and shape and dimension. Very attractive steer that you like a great deal from that standpoint. Young lady does a good job of showing that animal as well, and that helps a lot. Red steer that comes behind that one, our middleweight class winner, very, very nice made steer, one that you appreciate the middle portion of the volume and the mass that thing's got. He's really attractive when you get up to him from his shoulders back. We talked about we'd like to tone him down in his crest over the top part of his neck just a little bit, maybe stretch him out and get him a little more length up through that front end, but from there back you really have to appreciate all that guy brings to you. Maybe want to trim him down just a tick, but that's just being real picky. That one there is going to hang a high quality carcass that's going to get up there in that choice plus, maybe even into that prime range, which is where you want to be. Young lady steer down here on this end, the black brockle face steer. Boy, when that thing gets parked and gets his head up and everything, it all comes together. That guy's really complete from end to end. He's a long-sided calf that still has enough volume and mass. If you analyze him from his foreflank to his rear flank, they're just as flat as can be, and that's what we want to get. Sometimes these longer-sided cattle can appear to be a little bit not as deep-bodied and not as soggy through their middle, but they're not going to be because they're longer-sided. So when you get out here and analyze this one, he's maybe not as deep as your red calf, or maybe not as deep even as the gray one in front of him, but he balances up exactly perfect from front flank to rear flank like one should. You get up over his top line, you're impressed by the amount of muscle and shape and dimension that he has down his top. He's very well finished. He's got a nice touch when I put my hands on him all the way back to his 13th rib. You really appreciate that about him. He's really square and level in his lines. All of those qualities we like. So really good set of 3 steers as we get out here and analyze them. I think when it comes down to it, there's some give and take between them as far as I'm concerned, but I think the one that probably suits me the best and probably the most market ready, pound for pound, probably got the most quality and everything put together is going to be this black brockle steer. We're going to use him for champion.
Our grand champion steer for today is Carmela Espinoza from MacArthur FFA. We are calling Nathan White from Eisenhower FFA to come to the show arena, please. Nathan White from Eisenhower FFA.
As we bring back our second place out of that heavyweight class, we talked about a calf that balances up great for me. Love the length that he has out through his front end. Love the volume that he has to the center portion of his body. Love that squareness and levelness of hip that he has, really extended and long made through his hip line when you view him from that standpoint. When you get back behind him, he gets a little bit more angular up over his top line, up over the top part of his shoulder and back into his hip. When you get in there, I'd like to maybe just bring that out and fill it out a little bit more across there, but that's being picky of an awful nice calf. I think as we get out here and analyze the three, it gets a little closer in my mind. I think they're all three very outstanding individuals. As we get out here and analyze them, you know, the calf that wins the class, he's not perfect for me. But there's one out here that I think is really, really close. I just wish he's bigger. But pound for pound, we're going to call him Sugar Ray Leonard. That's going to be the lightweight calf. He'll be your reserve.
Our reserve champion is Alyssa Martinez from MacArthur FFA. At this time, we are calling Ashlyn Jones to come to the show arena. Ashlyn Jones, please make your way to the show arena.
So, you know, you're supposed to keep the steer calm, right?
Hold on, I thought I was about to get hit.
What if you don't? What happens when you can't keep a steer calm? Like, what do you, like, well,
We've had it happen a couple times while training the younger ones. If you lose control, really, it's not. You can't panic. If the steer knows you're scared, it's just gonna push you around a lot more. So really, what we call it is break their necks, which it's not exactly what it sounds, but it's basically when you twist their head enough to where they calm down, just because they're not used to turning their bodies like that. Like I said, you have an animal this big; it's not used to being pushed around. So when it gets pushed around, it kind of gets surprised.
go ahead.
No. What was your question?
Like, is it part of because I know it's part of a showmanship, so would the judge go based off that and, like, will it make you lose points for him to pick you, or?
It depends on the judge. If he sees that you're really putting an effort in, and you just somehow manage to get stuck with one of the harder head ones, it might not. But like I said, every judge is different. Every show is different.
That's true.
But in the end, I do believe it has a little bit to do with how you lead your animal around.
So now it's just going. How many steers make it to sale?
Third place steer is Nathan White from Eisenhower FFA. At this time, calling Jamari Hackett from Davis FFA. Please make your way to the show arena.
First in class. So I have it. Oh.
So sorry, what was your question one more time?
Or how many steers make it a show?
5.
Five.
Only 5 out of the 12 are gonna make show. So right now he's looking for his fourth.
It's fourth steer. Does it depend like on how many steers there is, or that's like no matter how many steers there is, they only choose
As long as I can remember, that's been the set number.
Fourth place steer is Anaya McDowell from Eisenhower FFA. Now calling Melina Palmer from Aldine FFA. Please make your way to the show arena.
Here we go.
So if you want to introduce yourself real quick.
Hello, I'm Carmela Espinoza. I'm from MacArthur FFA. I'm very, very excited about winning this year's steer championship. I honestly didn't expect it. I went through a lot raising this steer. He stepped on my foot. He broke my toe. Uh, there was this one time I was trying to get like this piece of plastic that he tried picking up from the ground out of his mouth. I ended up cutting my finger. But after everything that me and this steer went through, it feels really good to know that everything paid off in the end. And so I'm really happy that.
That's good to hear. We're proud of
Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much.
Is this your first
Our
year doing
fifth
this
place steer is
Yes, this is my
Ashlyn
first year doing a
Jones
steer.
from MacArthur
Last year I
FFA.
did a pig, and I remember after the show I was looking at the steers, and I just saw how everybody just brought them in, and they looked so big, and they were like so confident, and I just remember looking, and I was like, I want to do a steer so bad, and so
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like you were born for it.
thank you.
Again, our results for today's market steer show is Grand Champion steer Carmela Espinoza, Reserve Grand Champion steer Alyssa Martinez. Our third place steer is Nathan White. Our fourth place steer is Anaya McDowell. And our fifth place steer is Ashlyn Jones. This is the first call for our breeding heifer show. First call for our breeding beef show. Please make your way to the show arena at this
They're
time.
so cool. I can't wait to see what they look like. Are you part of that? No. But I'm excited to see the heifers. This is the first time I've seen the heifer show.
So can you tell me a little bit about what you did to? You can turn it on if you want. If you could tell me a little bit about how you prepared for the show.
I prepared for the show by definitely making sure he was eating this supplement. It was like a pre-show supplement, and it's supposed
Our
to
exhibitors for today's breeding beef show is Jose Fajardo from Aldine FFA and Jackson Dodd from Nimitz FFA.
I would groom him daily.
Our
because
class
I didn't
sponsor
wanna
for
just,
our
like, leave
breeding
him
beef
alone,
show
and then
is
in the ring I
Giselle
would have to fight him because
Zamapara.
he's such a big steer. I'm only like 5 foot, like less
Yeah.
than 200 pounds, and that steer is
Again, our
1400.
sponsor for today's
so,
breeding beef show
you know,
is
I had to make sure
Giselle
I got all my
Zamaripa.
work in.
Please give her a
Otherwise,
round of
I'm pretty
applause.
sure like he would have probably thought he was the boss, but yeah.
And I saw some steers that were out of control during the show. What kind of pointers would you give to people to control their steers a little bit?
So mine was a little crazy in the beginning as well, and the way I dealt with him dragging me and trying to like override me, I decided like tying him up definitely works. Tying him up for a little while, And then making sure you always like have hands-on with them. Make sure they gain your trust, because you wouldn't trust somebody unless you spent more time with them. So definitely I would spend time laying in a stall with him, or just petting him, or even giving him treats. Giving him treats made him start to like me more. So anytime he let me walk him for just the tiniest amount, I gave him like an apple or like a cucumber or something. So yeah.
That's good. And you said you were a junior?
Senior.
Senior. Oh, you're a senior.
This is my last year.
So this is that's very good. You ended on a high note.
Ended out with a bang, yeah. It's a dream come true, and I'm hoping whatever money that comes from this, I'm going to use it to go to Texas Tech to study to become a veterinarian.
And are you planning, I know most of the students say this, but are you planning on coming back to the school district at any point as an advisor?
I don't know. It depends where life takes me. I definitely see if maybe I'll balance being a veterinarian and maybe an ag teacher when I'm like retiring or something like that. Because I know veterinary work is kind of, really rough, but I do love how the teachers spend so much time with the students and teaching them how to raise animals, and I feel like I might do that too. I might come back to the Aldine district maybe in the future. It just all depends.
That's good. That's good.
That white Brahmin's so pretty. Like, she's gorgeous.
And I'm not too familiar with the breeding section of this, so is there anything you can tell me about this event?
I don't know too much about heifers because, I'm more of a steer kind of girl, but I know definitely something that really goes into breeding heifers is their ability to carry the weight of their babies, and if they're their bottom side where their butt is, if it's too small, they won't be able to carry the calf that they're supposed to. Because something I learned in Mr. Burnett's class is definitely when it comes to breeding, they want to make sure that these heifers won't have trouble calving. Otherwise, it's not really good for the calf or the cow, because one of them may die, or it's just a hard birthing time for the cow. So they all look beautiful. I believe the white one is going to the rodeo.
Really?
Yeah, she's a rodeo heifer.
Attention in the barn.
Tagging her ear.
All spectators, please make your way into the stands. All spectators, please make your way into the stands.
So, I asked you how you prepared for this show, this event, but you didn't tell me about what you used to prepare for the show.
Definitely, it was a lot of money for feed and money for equipment. Altogether, I spent about $7,000 just with him and the feed. Like, it was a lot of money, but I'm hoping to make a good amount back.
Yeah. And can you tell me about what your hours kind of look like with this training?
Oh my goodness. So at first I started off with maybe like 3-4 hours just to let him like sniff me, just to like, have him tied up a little bit, groom him, feed him. But as days went on, I would walk to the barn, I think around 3 p.m. after school, and I wouldn't leave until 7. And every day and weekends, I would spend 6 hours there. And
let's give both of our heifer exhibitors a big round of applause. Two really nice females out here in this division. As we get out here and analyze the two, I'll talk them and then we'll tell you how they're going to place. The black heifer that's up in the front right now, really long-sided female. You have to appreciate that about her. She's got lots of shape and dimension of muscle when you get back through her, and still maintains that in a nice package. As we get through the center portion of our body, we might want to deepen her up in her flank and deepen her down in her belly, but I think as you analyze her, she's long-sided. She doesn't appear to have maybe quite as much as she really actually does have. We get her out and set her in motion. She's free and easy on the move. If we were going to change her any about her femininity up through her front end. We might want to clean her up in her chest floor just a little bit, maybe make her just a little more feminine around her head. She gets a little bit bigger and a little bit more less feminine through that front 1/3 as we analyze her around her head. But that's a really nice, attractive female from that standpoint. The Brahman heifer that stands right behind her, you really have to appreciate the way this one's made through the center portion of her body from flank to flank. That one's got some Springer ribs. She's got some volume and some rib shape to her when you get her out and you set her in motion. She moves free and easy, really constructed nicely from that standpoint. And then when the young man gets her over here and gets her stuck, that thing really comes together extremely nice. You almost think this heifer kind of gets off in her hip just a little bit when you see her, but when you set her in motion, she levels out just perfectly, and then when you get her over here and get her set, once again, levels out just like she's supposed to. So I think that's a really high-quality female with lots of shape and dimension of muscle, lots of good qualities to her. A little more feminine up through her head and neck, maybe than the black heifer is, but these are two really high-quality females. There's some give and take and some different things that I'd like to kind of change about each one of them, but I think the one that probably puts it all together for me is going to be the young man with the Brahman heifer. She's going to be your champion, and we'll follow with the black heifer for reserve. Let's give them a big round of applause.
Our results for today's breeding beef show is Jose Fajardo from Aldine FFA for grand champion. Jackson Dodd from Nimitz FFA for reserve grand champion. Let's give these young men a round of applause. First call for all beef cattle showmanship. First call for all beef cattle showmanship. All exhibitors are eligible for beef cattle showmanship except for the grand and reserve champions from each class. Second call for all beef cattle showmanship. All beef cattle showmanship. All exhibitors are eligible to return to the beef cattle showmanship except for the grand champion steer, reserve champion steer, and the grand champion heifer and reserve champion heifer. All others are eligible to participate in the showmanship contest. Our sponsor for today's beef cattle showmanship is Al's Handy Hardware, Mr. Joey Bursky. Please give him a round of applause.
Ashlon is really good at handling his steers, so I think he should either grand champion or reserve.
So can you tell me a little bit about the showmanship side of this? What exactly is the showmanship part of raising steer?
Showmanship is making sure that the steer knows that you're in control and that when you stop or go, it has to listen, but it also has to trust you too. It has to move the way you move. You have to have total control, otherwise the steer will try to get loose or try to mess with you, fight with you. It's a lot of making sure that that steer, like I said, is in your control. Because they're males and they like to assert dominance, so it's kind of, you have to assert that dominance but still have that trust kind of relationship in order for them to really listen to you. But it's not just the relationship factor, but you must tie them up because they won't get used to raising their head unless you have them tied up.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Oh, man.
Was there anybody that you thought in particular walked their steer pretty good?
I'm a little biased. I did sponsor a steer,
Oh, really? Which one?
Denise from Davis.
Ah, okay.
And like I said, we made a lot, well, like I was talking about with Leda, we made a lot of progress with him. He was really hard-headed.
Yeah.
And the issue with him is that he was really riled up from the start.
Yeah. The reserve champion, the white steer, when we first got him, we thought he was gonna kill everybody.
Yeah.
Because he was very feisty, but she ended up being able to handle him pretty well in the end. So definitely, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of patience. She was there just as much as I was, if not more. So it took a lot of time to tame that steer. So definitely, it's a lot of work, a lot of trust, and yeah.
Looks like we're missing one.
On steer.
And so going back into sponsorships, like I was telling Leda, sponsoring is a really big part of the community for us. My boss, Joey Borski, out there from Mouse Hardware, he grew up doing this too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he would sponsor a lot with his dad. They used to sponsor really big back in the I think it was 60s, 70s, back when the store first opened. And we kind of stopped it for a while because we didn't know they still did this in this area.
Wow.
With Houston getting as big as it was. This used to be farmland, apparently.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I grew up here, but I didn't know it was that expansive.
Yeah.
The urban expansion.
And then do you plan on coming back on sponsoring sometime in the future?
Maybe. As of right now, I feel like I'm going to be hyper focused on studying to become a veterinarian. So I know it's going to be a lot of time, money to, pay for schooling. But definitely maybe when I'm financially stable with my job, I'll probably come back, give to the community that gave a lot to me. So yeah, maybe in the near future sometime. Is there any steer you like in particular now that you're watching them right now?
I do. This brown one right here, right in front of me.
Yeah.
I didn't pay as much attention as I should have in class. I don't remember the different breeds as much. But I can't say I do like that brown one until it was there.
Yeah, that's Echelon. He's from MacArthur too. He worked with this steer a lot too. Another competitor in there that he is close up to is Ethan Harris, the one with the black steer at the front. He's won Grand Champion Showmanship, I think, 2 times already.
Really?
Yeah, I used to replay the steer videos over and over again. So, yeah, definitely. It's going to be a close one depending on what the judge favors more.
Yeah. So you said you watched videos, so you studied.
I studied. I spent so much time. I could quote word for word some of the parts of the live stream. Yeah, I ate, slept, nothing but the show. I spent more time on the show than with friends and family, so, anybody could tell you that this is all I've talked about, all I've worked on.
It's a really big part of people's lives.
Especially because I was relying on this for, a lot of the scholarship money I'm going to take. So,
Yeah. And it's surprising a lot of people don't know about FFA.
Yeah. I didn't even know.
Yeah, no, neither did I until I got to high school.
Yeah.
But the surprising thing is that if everybody knew about the money you get out of it, they would join. But not a lot of people like the hard work, the labor
Yeah.
that's put into it.
And, sometimes I'll see people come up to me and they'll be like, oh, I want to do one next year. And I'm like, look, as much as I would be like, yeah, go ahead. It's it's not for everyone. I mean,
not.
I've had to make several hospital visits for x-rays because of the many times I've been injured. So definitely it is not just a financial commitment, but it is a
Yeah.
physical commitment
And
as
what
well.
people don't realize is that this is probably one of the hardest sports you could do in high school.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Um, Speaking of sports, like I wanted to join powerlifting, but majority of the lifting that I got was from my steer carrying the water, carrying his head. If you replay the video after this live stream is done, you'll probably see me struggling to like put
Oh, I
up his
did,
head.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, he was so tall, so it's like I have to work out my arms. So
Yeah.
definitely was a physical, mental, and
Let's give all
financial
these exhibitors a
workout.
big round of applause. Excellent job all day, showing through their classes as well as out here in their showmanship. If anybody's ever seen me judge very often, I'm not a huge proponent of a bunch of questions. I want to see what you can do today. What you did at home doesn't really matter to me today because all I see is today. So when it gets down to it and it comes down to it, you got to be the one that gets that animal set to that best advantage that day. And you only have a short window to get that done. So you got to be on track from the start to finish. Make sure you keep your look and your eye peeled to the judge. Make sure you know what you need to do and where you need to go. And there is nothing wrong with going ahead if you know where you're supposed to be and you know what you're supposed to do. Go out there, be assertive, and do it, because nobody's going to be upset with you or anything for doing what you already know what you need to do, right? I mean, we've kind of done this, everybody in here has been in here at least twice today, right? So when you came through the first time, we kind of kept the same pattern and we did the same thing every time, right? So pay attention to that when you go to that show ring and you see that first class. Make sure you know what the judge is kind of looking for and what he wants. As we get out here, we're a little bit packed for space, and that's okay. We're going to walk through and just watch everybody kind of the way that they handle themselves and their animals. Of course, all the cattle are getting tired. We know that. They've been probably standing up for probably a couple hours before I got here and all the way through the show. So when that gets to that point, then it gets a little tougher. Then you got to really work harder because you got to keep that animal calm and keep them in a good manner for you to be out and be presentable in the show ring. Outstanding job by everybody out here today. I think as we analyze this group of showmen, there's 4 or 5 people out here that could win this showmanship. Just a few little basic things. Obviously, get out and move the best you can. Be out in front of your calf when you're walking. Be leading the calf, not letting the calf lead you. Make sure that you got that head and neck up so that he's presentable through his front end. When you get out and you get set on the rear view, I like to see them fairly square. From a profile, I like to see that back leg scissored. Most everybody's doing exactly what you should be doing as you get out here. Some are a little smoother than others. I like a showman that stays out in front of their cattle and gets their cattle shown without drawing attention to themselves. Sometimes you get people that get way out in front and then they get turned around backwards and they're having to look at you over their shoulder like this. And that might be a little bit too far out there, but everybody has their type and style and their designs that they like and that they want to use. I think as we get out here and analyze this group, like I said, there's 4 or 5 out here that could win the showmanship. Feet and leg things are kind of probably the thing that sorted this out for me today as we get out here and analyze it. And then there's some other little things that happen as we get out here and move around. I always like to push your calf away from you when you lead out. If you push out and you come out this way and then come back in, go to that calf behind you, go to about halfway back on that calf's body and then pull in. That way you can get square and straight to the rest of the group. If you pull out from this way, then it's harder for you to get back into that same hole. So always try to push away from you when you lead out and get that animal back in where he needs to be. Really close placing out here, I think between 3 for sure. As we get out here and analyze them, I'm going to show you the 2 that I think did the best job today. Let's give them one more big round of applause.
The results for today's cattle showmanship class is Grand Champion Nathan White, Reserve Grand Champion Ashlyn Jones. Let's give all of our cattle exhibitors a round of applause for today. Let's also give our beef cattle showmanship sponsor. Let's give our beef cattle showmanship sponsor Al Handy's Hardware and Mr. Joey Borski a round of applause.
Job. It's nice to see everybody's animals. I like to look at how much everybody's worked on their animals too. I don't know, I just find it interesting. So watching these shows is pretty fun for me. If I'm not in them, I like to watch them. So it's a little hobby of mine. Yeah, I think everybody did a wonderful job.